Hey, peepees. Peoples. Okay, so I'm in the magical forest again. And I was having a blissful morning this morning. The sun was shining in my window. It was completely just like, whoa, at like 7:30 in the morning. It was awesome. And then this dark energy just rolled in, and I looked out the window and there was chemtrails just like all over the sky, like within 20 minutes of that shiny sunlight. So by the time 8 o'clock, 8:15 rolled around, maybe 45 minutes later, there was just this heavy energy. And I also believe, it had something to do with someone waking up in the house, potentially, and that there was a ship that came over the house, and like, next thing I know, bandits barking, and there's entities, and they're latching on to me, and I'm literally like, whoa, my body's like screaming in pain, and I'm like, whoa, dude, okay. So I proceed to take a shower and to, clear my energy field as much as possible, still in pain. After the shower, I decide I'm going out on a walk, which my first instinct when I woke up this morning was to get outside and go on a walk when it was bright and sunny, right? So I go on a walk, and it's now 1 o'clock, and I've been in the forest for a couple of hours, just sitting here, just absorbing the immense peace here. And the sky cleared up, the wind blew all the chemtrails, and the energy completely shifted again. And then now there's chemtrails again, and they're shifting over, and it's a little bit heavier, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. And the reason I'm sharing all of this with you is because it's so subtle, it's so subtle what happens on a daily basis in our environment that we don't actually understand what's going on and how it's happening and what's creating the tension and the conflict and the stress and the anxiety that we experience naturally on a daily basis. And it's not even ours. Like, clearly it's not even ours. And so for me to be able to, I have to hold this in a different position so I could like see you. For me to be in subtle observance of what's happening helps me to not feel so crazy and to not take it personally when there's projections being thrown at me that I have bad energy. What I have is authenticity. What I have is truth coming out of my mouth. It's my truth, granted, but I don't speak my truth to harm others. I do speak my truth to call shit out when it happens, and I call it out as I see it, and I do it in the most loving way possible, but that requires that people look at themselves. And when anyone projects all this crazy ass shit onto me, which just seems to be happening all around me right now, not just with me, but I see people projecting onto others. And then that can be interpreted in a couple of ways. First of all, people can be projecting onto others, or they can be calling out the evil that they see present. There's two different things going on. Two. One is calling out the evil or the misalignment or the darkness, whatever it is, the lack of rainbow light that is present, okay? So calling it out is not being harmful. Calling it out is holding everyone and everything accountable for what's present and becoming aware of the presence of this darkness that is desperately trying to hold on to the control matrix and the mind control mechanisms that have been placed on society. So for me, what that looks like right now is the presidential election. Right now, they're creating false flag events that they're feeding into the public in Europe and other places around the world, all these false flag events. And here in America, it's all about the candidates, it's all about the election, and who's going to lead this country. Well, I'll tell you something right now. It doesn't matter who is president. Period. The problem is much deeper than who is going to represent this country. The representatives of any particular country are controlled by a society or a internal mechanism that controls the movements and the actions of that person representing the country on behalf of its people, which the people are never actually taken into consideration, to be quite honest. And so what they will do is they will appear to be on behalf of the people. And to be quite honest, if you look at face value at what you're looking at, you will see very quickly, and if you do your research, you will see very quickly that the issues, some of the main issues that people have that they're presenting to the presidential candidates, are not being addressed. And other main issues are being addressed, but they're going with the popular issues, not the ones that are gnarly that nobody wants to hear about. For instance, vaccinations that bring in AI technology into your body and genetic manipulation, causing seizures, causing major illnesses, like unbelievable amounts of damage being done by vaccinations, okay? And I'm not like saying this because I'm like, vaccinations. I'm not saying that. That's just one example of the insidious infiltration of evil within our society. Mandatory vaccinations? Are you kidding me? That is a violation of civil rights, a violation of personal rights. Just like forcing people to have abortions or forcing people not to have abortions is a violation of our sovereignty and our personal civil rights, okay? Having said all that, it doesn't actually matter who becomes president. The system itself is broken, and unfortunately, in this day and age, we the people require a system in order to function because of the level of population and the level of integration of technology, which requires that we move at a much faster pace, and the celestial speed up that goes along with that. But here's the thing, at the end of the day, if there was such a thing, because right now there is no end. We are literally in eternity, we always have been, but where we are in that cycle of eternity, let's just say infinity, we are at a shifting point, a shifting spiral, a moving spiral that's spiraling into another layer of the big spiral, right? It's coming back around. And where we are in that expansion process, because it really is an expansion process that we're in, not a contraction process. The contraction is coming from the forces that would prefer to keep us in control and keep us asleep. But the natural order of things is such that we are expanding into this other level of awareness and consciousness, and Gaia herself is integrating with Earth and integrating with Terra, fifth dimensional Earth, and there are three, literally third dimensional Earth, fifth dimensional Terra, and seventh dimensional Gaia that are all merging together right now to come back into balance, into right relations with itself as a planet. And, you know, there's a lot of damage that has been done to our planet, to Mars, to many planets in our solar system during the time of Maldek and Nibiru coming around. And there's been a lot of interesting collisions that have happened in this solar system, ancient times, but it affects us now. And so speaking to how it affects us now is that this is the final conflict, according to the Anunnaki and the Illuminati sleeper races and those lineages that would prefer to keep control of this planet, this jewel of a planet, this gem, because she is a gem. She is a magical gem. And she is one of the most powerful planetary logoses, however you want to say that exists. And she has allowed humanity this fall. She's allowed humanity to stay on her back and inside of her, despite all the negativity and the darkness and the fall from divine consciousness and the creation of the ego self. In dream space, sleeping. So she has allowed us to stay here, and I'm deeply grateful for that. So now, you know, my job right now is to listen to her incredibly deeply in any time that I can. Because I feel like if I don't listen to what she's saying to me, I am not in right relations with myself and with her and with all beings. Because she is really guiding this transition, and she determines whether or not we continue with her or not. To be quite honest, that's how I see it in this moment. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the truth. That's just how I'm seeing it at this moment. And the emerald codes of the heart, the source codes of the Emerald Covenant, are coming in right now with this solar eclipse, March 9th, March 8th, March 9th. And so it's all about the heart space. It's all about expanding into the heart space, like really, 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 really allowing our hearts to just fully open, fully open to the energies that are coming in and, like, you know, drifting in gently and slowly. And we're getting blasted with chemtrails, and our dream spaces are being interrupted. We're having energies come into our dream space and asking us to take a gift, which they're trying to. So that when anyone offers you a gift in a dream, it's definitely a contract that you're entering into, and you probably want to say no, even if it looks appealing. Or you may be in a battle scene, like military style in your dreams. There's all ways that they can utilize us on the astral to be able to keep us disempowered, keep us in a war mentality in our minds, an us and them mentality, and keep us in fear. But here's the thing. We are the power. Period. We, as humans, as divine humans in physical bodies, are organic in nature, okay? The inorganic entities and the inorganic beings, program life forms that are doing these manipulations on the astral into the physical, don't have that advantage of the organic soul stream that is existent within us. So it is our job to bring that source code energy, that source light energy into our bodies so completely that there is nothing that can shake us from our core essence of who we are. I've touched on a lot of stuff just now. I'm going to leave it at that. But essentially just expanding the core essence of those emerald source codes within your heart space, and the golden light and the rainbow light that exists within your energetic matrix on a daily basis, and just toning or singing or meditating and writing and just really amplifying that energy into your heart right now, and breathe it in, receive it, allow it, integrate it. I love you from the depths of my being. I'm moved to tears because you guys are awesome. And I'm so honored to know so many people that are strong and powerful. And you know who you are because you're listening to this right now. And I love you. And we're in this together. So stay steady, stay strong, and know that I'm always with you.